Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, and for those of you with me for the first time, I am Melissa Reed and I'm a mixed media artist from Pennsylvania. Today I wanted to do something a little bit different. I'm going to be working with a self-portrait, which is not really something I've done much of on the channel or in my art practice at all really, but I've kind of had this loose idea in my head for doing an altered, highly abstracted mixed media piece using my own image. So what we're going to be using today, I took several photographs of my face and highly altered them, edited them in my photo editing program on my phone, amped up the contrast, and I got these laser prints made. So I went in, made the photo black and white, and just really tweaked the contrast to get this high contrast print. I'm going to be printing that on the gel plate so that I can transfer it onto this board. This is an 8x10 cradled board. I will have links to the things that I'm using in the description for you if you're interested. These papers I made the other day just using some tea and coffee dyeing techniques. I didn't do a video on this because I think everybody's pretty much aware of this by now. If you're not, I literally brewed strong coffee and strong tea, poured them in a tray, and set some papers in to dye. Some of them I took out after just an hour, some of them I left overnight, and those are darker. Just to give you an idea of what we have here, we got some interesting designs. This one's almost fractal-like. So I'm going to be using a variety of these different papers along with some other collage papers. I also printed up just on my inkjet printer these antlers, which I am going to use in the collage as well. Now, what I am going to do that's a little bit different, and if you saw last week's video, you may guess, I am going to be using some beeswax. This is natural beeswax pellets. I'll have a link for those as well for you. And I'm going to be basically waxing all of these papers and doing a wax collage, altered self-portrait mixed media piece. There's a mouthful. Don't know exactly what it's going to look like in totality yet. I may be using some other papers, paints, etc. with it. Now, this is not going to be true encaustic. I mean, that is, I'm sure a lot of you know, and a lot of you actually gave me some really great tips on that. Encaustic very, very basically is a way to create art using hot colored waxes. And it's a really, really cool technique. I don't have a lot of experience with it, but I would like to, and perhaps we will do that on the channel at some point. This is not that. It's kind of like a poor man's version, if you will, because I don't have all of the equipment for that, and I didn't really want to spend the time or money right now getting it all for this video. So we're going to do my version of it. And of course it's an experiment, so we'll see if it works. But for now, I'm going to get started. The very first thing I'm going to do is melt a layer of wax on the surface of this board. And I'm going to do that almost as like a primer so that my other wax sheets will stick to it. So you're going to see me here with an iron in a moment, and I'm going to be doing, like you saw in last week's video if you watched it, for the process of making some of these waxed collage papers, I'm going to just lay some wax down, lay a parchment paper, greaseproof paper over it, and use the iron and let that actually sink in to the wood. So let's get to it. So as I had said in the beginning, this is all basically just kind of a big experiment since I am not actually following any real rules and just making everything up as I go along. So I would say for this 8x10 board, I probably put down, I don't know, maybe like a tablespoon or two of those wax pellets. I was just kind of trying to get a feel for what was going to be enough, and enough was going to be just to make sure that that board was covered. So you'll see me lifting that paper up to take a look and see, and I can see some empty spots on there, and I do end up like going in and adding more, and I'll do that a few different times throughout this process. So I will say I decided to then go in with this heat gun, and that melted everything and spread it out a little bit better. So that was kind of a good idea if you have one of those handy. That really helped a lot. As far as the iron goes, make sure you're using an iron that you're not going to use on clothing again, because while I am using the greaseproof paper, it is making a gigantic mess. It is leaking out the sides. You'll see here in a minute. There's just kind of wax like literally everywhere. So I'm sure you could probably cool the iron and scrape it off, but is it ever going to be completely off of there? I don't know. And then maybe you'd ruin your clothes. So this is not an iron I intend to use on clothing, so I didn't mind. But if you're thinking of just grabbing your iron out of your laundry room, just be careful with that because it is messy and it gets everywhere. So you can see here I'm waxing some of the papers now like I did last week. I put some of the wax pellets down, laid the paper down. Someone actually suggested waxing both sides, so that's what I'm doing. Last week I just put the wax on the top, and this time I'm doing both sides. Here is that gel print of my image that I was talking about. I was going to include pulling the print in the video, but it's a little redundant, I think. You know, most of you are familiar with gel printing on the gel plate. If you are not, however, I will put a couple of videos at the end here for you to see the process. I have tons and tons of videos on gel printing, so be sure to check some of those out if you are interested. Again, just covering that. Now you can see the wax leaking out of the sides there. It's just all over the place. But I'm just getting all of these papers good and coated. I even ended up putting down, excuse me, several layers of the parchment paper, and it was still kind of just making a mess. So be prepared. It's messy. It gets all over the place. But the nice thing about wax is it dries really fast, and you can see the sheen actually going away as I'm lifting it off of the parchment paper. So I'm not going to show you every single piece that I did because I waxed a whole bunch of different papers just to have on hand. I did end up using most of them as well. This was that inkjet print that I used, and I'm going to do something a little bit different with this, and I'll show you in just a moment. I want to say I got this image off of Unsplash.com, which is a royalty-free site, and I'll put a link to that in the description for you. If you're interested, you can use any of those images that you want on there with no fear of legal consequences, which is always nice. So I repeated that process, like I said, a bunch of times. I went ahead and cut those antlers out, and you can see there I had some oil pastels. These are definitely not professional grade. I picked these up at a thrift art shop near my town, and they were like a couple bucks and they were brand new, so I had to buy them. But they're perfect for this because I don't need professional grade for this. Why I'm using the oil pastels is because we have the wax on there, and those two play very well together. So I'm positioning now all of the things. I cut out my face, I cut out the antlers, and I've got all of these beautiful waxed collage papers that I made. So for the next couple of minutes here, you're going to see me just trying things out. And if you've seen any of my other videos, you've probably heard me say a million times, one of the best things about collage, in my opinion, is that you do get to kind of audition these papers before you commit to putting them down. So you'll see me moving things around and, you know, trying out different positions and different placements. What I'm looking for here in the back of my mind while I'm doing this is patterns, tones. I don't want to say colors so much because they're all pretty similar in colors, except for, you know, there's that one flower sheet that has a little bit of red and orange in it, but they're all very similar. Some of the tones are a little lighter and some are darker. The tissue paper with the text stamp on it is, of course, very light. Some of the coffee and tea dyed papers are much darker. So I'm looking to get a nice contrast, dark pieces next to light pieces, different prints next to different prints. And Also, I'm looking at the size and shape and placement of each individual piece that I'm putting on there. You can see right now that those two papers at the top kind of come right down in the center of the top of my head. And you'll see in a moment that I move that around and I lay papers over top because that's not very pleasing to the eye like that. So these are just things I'm taking into consideration as I'm tearing these papers. And I did start by cutting some of them, but I ended up deciding that I wanted to have all torn edges. So I did go back through, and as I'm playing around with each piece, you'll see me there tearing them off. But I don't want anything to look too symmetrical. I want a lot of variation. That's kind of another thing that I'm just keeping in the back of my mind. Also, with those antlers, I wanted to make sure that the papers that were directly underneath them weren't so dark that they were going to completely get lost. So kind of a lot going on in my mind in the background there as I'm working on these different collage paper placements. While I am putting these down as well, I'm going to say thinking about, but really worrying about and stressing about how I'm going to get these to adhere. Because like I said, I've never done this before. This is not traditional encaustic. I don't have a big pot of melted wax in front of me, which admittedly would have been so much easier. But again, I did not have the proper tools to to use. I didn't, and you can use something as simple as like a hot plate or something like that, a muffin tin with the different waxes in it. But you're going to not want to then use those for food. And I just didn't have anything that I was willing to sacrifice to the studio forever and ever. So we're going to do it this way. But as I'm laying these down, I'm like, is this even going to work? Am I spending all of this time? Is the wax going to adhere? Is there going to be enough? And, it's trial and error. It's a process. But I think the end product worked out pretty well for what I was doing here, and I like the way it looks. I think I say this in all of my videos, but it opens up so many possibilities, and I want to just keep playing with this idea and making more and more of them. But I think I'm going to need to refine my technique a little bit, or maybe just give in and buy the correct encaustic supplies, because it would probably be a lot easier, and I know I'm going to end up loving it and wanting to do it all the time. So these are just the little internal battles I have with myself. But hey, while we have a second here, thank you all so much for joining me today. And if you like what I'm doing here so far, give me a thumbs up. It is definitely interesting. And if you don't mind giving me a hype as well, that will push out all of my weirdness to even more people who can enjoy all of the crazy things that I do on this channel. Okay, so you can see on the right-hand side there, once I got the placement down, I went ahead and took a picture of that because I knew there was absolutely no way I was going to remember what I wanted to do. So I printed that out on my photocopier, and now I can kind of use that as a reference. And I'm beginning to lay down the papers. So I took them all off one by one and went down to the very first layer and just kind of started from scratch. I'm looking at my reference photo and adding some wax and using the iron and just going back and forth and doing that until I have everything down. Some pieces didn't seem to need more wax added to them. Some pieces definitely did. And again, like I said, all trial and error. So it was just kind of like what seems to be working for that piece. That plastic thing that you saw in my hand there is just, it's kind of like a catalyst wedge. I was using it as a scraper. I didn't have a clean used gift card tool anywhere handy, so that was, and I'm just using it to kind of scrape off excess wax or, smooth it out a little bit as I'm going along here, adding down all of my papers. One thing that's happening that I do want to mention, excuse me, with the smaller pieces especially, when they heat up, they want to slide a little bit. So keep that in mind. If if it's not exactly where you wanted it to be, easy enough to pry up while it's still warm and move it around, or if it does cool to the point where you can't, just lay the iron over top of it again. I had to do that several different times as I was working on it. I had mentioned that I used some coffee and tea dyed papers, and when I grab one that had the coffee in it and melt the wax on it, you can really smell the coffee. It is like I'm brewing a cup of coffee in the studio right now. And I know some people are probably going to fret because those papers aren't going to be acid free and all of that, but you know, I kind of feel like this. I don't need this artwork to last 10,000 years. I mean, who knows what's going to even happen in all of that time. This is not something that needs to, I'm not going to worry about that. And I think people get a little bound up in that. And sure, some things maybe you want that with, but that's not what I'm doing here. This is my fun mixed media experiment channel, and we kind of just go with the flow. So it's okay to just let go and not worry about things like that sometimes. Oh, that little piece there, I don't think I talked about that. I had the idea from the start to like tear a piece out and just let one of my eyes pop through. So I ripped several different pieces to test, and then I ultimately ended up going with that little one that I had from the beginning. I just like the way that it looked best. It keeps wanting to slide around there when I heat it up, but I finally get its placement pretty good. And I've got everything down. So I went and let it dried, and I pulled out those oil pastels again. Now this is after, I should say, I let everything dry and cool, and I went and took my X-Acto knife and trimmed all of the excess papers around. I'm going in now with a black oil pastel and just doing a little work around all of the edges to give a little bit of a shade there. And that blends beautifully just with the heat of your hand. So now what I'm doing is taking my heat tool, I'm going over the entire piece, and I'm kind of, the goal here is to hope that all of these different waxed papers fuse together a little better, because I could tell that some of them were lifting a little bit, and that's, you know, I don't want that to happen. So again, not really doing a true encaustic piece. This was all sort of made up on the fly as I go, but that seemed to be a good choice, and it got everything, excuse me, to where I wanted it to be. I did decide to add more wax though, and what I'm going to do here is get that all melted and get a brush and just kind of spread a coat over the whole thing. Now, the only brush I had around that I was willing to sacrifice to the wax was a synthetic brush. Be careful doing that because those will melt, so you definitely wouldn't want to put that heat tool directly on there, or those bristles will just melt right up. But it worked okay as far as spreading the wax across the surface, which is really all I wanted it to do. I just really wasn't ready to lose one of my good natural hair brushes just yet. So you can see, like, down at the bottom, there's a little bit of like bloom coming across that wax. We're going to work on that with a scraper and maybe just a soft cloth to buff it out. But even if I can't get that to come completely out, I do like the way it looks. Okay, here it is completely finished. I did end up getting the bloom out just by heating it up again with the heat gun, and everything kind of just worked out perfectly. I am so happy with the way this turned out. I will definitely be trying this again. Let me know about your own experiences using wax. I'm sure, as I know some of you said in last week's video, you have used actual encaustic. I'm very excited to learn that process. I love the way it looks. I'll probably be doing that on the channel at some point. But yeah, thanks again for hanging out with me while I tried yet another experiment. And as always, I appreciate each and every one of you. If you haven't had a chance to subscribe yet, go ahead and hit that button, give me a thumbs up and a hype, and I will look forward to seeing you again next Friday at 10 a.m. with a brand new video. Take care and have a great week.